Welcome back. Lehigh Valley's number one podcast in the Lehigh Valley. We paid to be in a style magazine and they gave us an award. So with that being said, this is the Valley's best podcast in the area. Hands down. What if I was like that? Be awful. If you want to sponsor the show, that's how we keep the lights on. These are the ads for the show. People pay. We put it on. That's how I pay the bills. This isn't done for free. It's a job. If you'd like to support us, you'd like to get your business out there, you'd like to have more options on what you can do with a business, contact me. We're doing cool things over here. I can help you out. You need apparel. You want to push your show further. You need a commercial. I can help anything you need. Anything you need. I got you. Be a part of the family. Very Fast and Furious. I'll say it each week. Fast and Furious. We love it. neveragainstudio@gmail.com. Be a part of the family. Crawlspacerepairs.com. 570-476-5866. Dennis Coes, we've had him on the podcast. He's a friend of the show, and I support all the things that Dennis is doing. He has 120 years of experience in crawl space and foundation repair. He also can do waterproofing and any basement repairs you need. It's basement, crawl space, and foundation repairs. He does a little bit of some other things too, and you can get all that information on crawlspacerepairs.com. It's 570-476-5866. If you got a leaky basement, you need something fixed with your crawl space, you just need anything done at all, Dennis can do it. He's a really good dude. I wouldn't recommend him unless he wasn't the best at doing it. So check him out. It's Dennis Coes at crawlspacerepairs.com. That's 570-476-5866. Basement repairs, foundation repairs, crawl space, all of your needs. Hit him up. fiveanddimeeaston.com. They have their website officially up. You can shop most of their stuff online. They also have Fucked. They have Fucked in the store. I think they're the only one allowed to sell Fucked out of their store. It's 484-544-4719. That's at Five and Dime Easton on social media. These guys are great. I mean, they're killing it. It's the best skate shop, in my opinion, in the area. They have a lot of cool stuff there. Both the owners are rad. I stop in when I can. They're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 7, Saturday, 10 to 7, and Sunday, 11 to 5. There is someone always there to help you out with your needs. You can check their inventory off the website. You can check out some videos they got on there, and they're doing some cool things. Their social media is awesome. They support a lot of local skaters in the area, and they're growing. I'm excited to be a part of them growing. I'm excited to help them out. They're helping me out. It's a good relationship, and I push Five and Dime Easton because they're the best skate shop in the area. Check them out. Legacy Landscaping, Lehigh Valley. Where do I start with this guy? Glenn Honan. If you don't know him, you should get to know him. Find them on social media. They have a great social media. They have fun with their stuff. They have characters on their crew. You can get them at Legacy Landscape PA is their Instagram. Glenn's coming back on the show soon. He's one of my favorites, man. You can get in touch with him for all your landscaping, hardscaping, snow removal. This guy does it all, and he is the definition of working class. He buys everywhere. I'm going to eventually do a working class t-shirt with Glenn. He busts his ass. He's got a crazy story from nothing all the way up to something. I love seeing him running businesses, and he's just a stand-up, straight-up guy. If you're looking for that and you want to get quotes and you want to work with a reliable, hardworking person, which is impossible to find anymore, that's Legacy Landscaping. They're going to be your choice for all your landscaping needs. It's 610-533-3669, and you can hit them up at legacylandscapeslv@yahoo.com. Check them out. BTG Blasting. My man, Pat Cunningham, offering you pressure washing, disinfecting, acid washing, and rust removal. It is a high pressure washing business, bringing your stuff back to glory. He does anything from houses all the way to having him come into the studio. He comes down to the studio on a schedule and he disinfects the studio, and we are certifiably clean, and it just covers all the bases. So with the things that are going on now, You're gonna need somebody like this. He's got a sticker out front. I am certifiably clean down here. He also offers free estimates on all your needs. He can do corporate and at home. You can reach him at 484-241-1711 and btgblasting@gmail.com. He just started this business and it is taking off. I'm super excited for him, and I'm super excited that he's a sponsor of the show. And you can check out BTG Blasting on social media for all of your pressure washing, disinfecting, acid wash, and rust removal needs. It's high pressure washing, bringing your stuff back to glory. He offers many things, and you need to check him out. Influencer, TikToker, entrepreneur, OnlyFanser. At this point, I'm just adding ERs. Show stalker, Gypsy Sister Kelly Lynn. She's sponsoring the show. And all you little boys who hit me up in my DMs, look at that, man. She's in a bikini. Go pay for it. Go pay for it. Go over to her Instagram. You want to know what Kelly's doing? Guys and girls, because girls, you can learn what she's doing. She's making a lot of money. You go over to @theGypsySister. You click on the link in her bio. After you look at all her pictures, a lot of good content. She's putting out content. She's an influencer. She's crushing TikTok. So you get into that Instagram, and then you click on it. And then you got your links. You got all your links now. You can see everything she's doing. Everything. She's doing merch. She'll pick up a shirt or a pillow. You want to sleep next to her? That's what I do. I got 6 of them in my bed. TikToker. You want to see her dance a little bit? See her dance on the railroad? Go there. She's an entrepreneur, an influencer, a TikToker. We're doing a podcast together. She's got a webpage coming. Should have asked me to do it. It'd be done. And she's a counselor. Girls, you want to learn how to do what she's doing? Go check it out. All information is at Gypsy Sister on Instagram. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for finally taking the step towards OnlyFans. And you can go check it out, guys. Get out of my DMs and get into hers. Thank you, Kelly. Never Again Radio. I have no clue what episode this is. Welcome to Never Again Radio.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Good.
We were supposed to do this last week. We had to reschedule because of the construction out front. We're finally here.
Yay.
What is the name of your business, and what exactly do you guys offer there?
We are Precision Laser, and we started with tattoo removal, and we recently got a new machine that we now do laser hair removal. We can do spider vein removal. We can do skin rejuvenation procedures. It is for like tightening your skin, fine lines and wrinkles. We can do port wine stains, rosacea, all that good stuff. More of an aesthetic
that's so
laser.
Much. Then that laser does all those different things?
Yep. Yeah.
When did you guys get into laser removal, and even how did you think about doing it? A friend of mine, because a couple of years ago is when it really popped off as being something that was affordable, because getting rid of a tattoo used to be some taboo thing where it was like, you'll never get rid of it.
Exactly. And spend $1 million.
Yeah. And it was always like super painful. And it was like people, you got to get a skin graft.
Just cut it out.
Yeah.
I've had clients come in with scars of tattoos being cut out by a dermatologist.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
and then there's the people that get the equipment and don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
and then you have
there's
those.
A lot of other things that people have tried to do.
Yeah.
We have quite a few clients that have done, you can do like a salt abrasion, which basically is just super rough and like rubs your skin off. So your tattoos
is that like the stuff they used to have at like the middle of the mall?
Yeah.
Where the guys would be like rubbing your hands and then be like, oh.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
But we got into it. My brother is a tattoo artist in Jersey, down in New Brunswick.
Awesome.
At Anchor Tattoo. So he was getting clients coming in with cover-up ideas on things that were too dark. So he was referring them to somebody else to go get a couple of treatments to get it lightened up so that his cover-up work would look better. And he was like, hey, there's something here. So he talked to my dad. My dad's a businessman. He owns a family company of industrial construction. So he has that business mindset and was like, let me look into it. So my dad did his research on lasers and the industry for a good year before he sat my siblings and myself and my 2 sister-in-laws down and was like, so this is my idea. If you guys are willing to work it, I'll front the money and get this laser. So we were like, okay.
Have you ran a business before? Or I mean,
no.
I know you've been in the medical field, but
I've been in the medical field going on 13 years now.
Yeah.
my siblings dabble in things that can contribute to the company, but nothing tattoo related or anything like that. But my dad's mindset was, make money for yourself, have something that, all of us have kids. So it's something that we can schedule, work around our kids. So saving money with daycare so that we're with the kids more. And all about just not working for somebody else and kind of leaving his legacy. He would like to partially retire sometime soon. So he wanted, something to fall back on as well. So we were like, okay, Dad. So we did it. And we got the best machine on the market because my dad was like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
Go all in.
Yeah. So we started, and it was a little bit of a slow start, but we were surprised to see, how many people were reaching out, with bad tattoos and whatnot. And it took off. So we're in it to win it. And we just got our new laser because clients were like, what else do you do besides tattoo removal? We're like,
we also don't want to stay flat with just doing the removal when you could offer more. And then seeing what else you can bring monetarily wise in.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up with a dad? I mean, you said he ran his own businesses and things.
Yeah.
Was that always like something that was instilled in the family with like a family run business? And I if I ever had kids or if it ever happens, I'd always like to, and I have a friend who runs a business and he has kids, but he's like, we never had someone growing up giving the idea of running your own business. And like, he's like, I think that's a massive option that I'm happy to give my son, where I'm like, hey, there's a possibility of running a restaurant. Is that how it was growing up?
It was, in a sense, because started with my grandfather, and then my dad.
What did he do?
He was the head of the company.
Oh, okay.
So it was my grandfather and then his 4 sons. So I was always like, I would like to be in the family business, but I'm a girl. So because then it was, all my men cousins then joined the business, and it went from there. And none of the wives worked growing up. So once I got to like high school, I was like, well, I have to get a job now. Like, I've never known any of the women in my life, have always been homemakers.
Yeah.
So that's always what I wanted to be growing up, was a mom. And nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't pay the bills. So I was like, oh, okay. So, but to always have that in my life of kind of my dad taking charge with, a leadership role and showing that to his kids. And he's worked hard his entire life. I think he's been in that business since he was like 16 years old. And they were like a multi-million-dollar company throughout the 80s. And we grew up in Staten Island, so it was a massive New York thing for them. Everybody knew them on the island, which was really cool because everybody's like, oh, you're in Reversa? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know your dad. I know your uncle.
That's a cool way to grow up.
So it was really cool. Of course, Staten Island is just like a little Italian family. So everybody knew everybody. So it was cool to be a part of that because everybody knew the name.
What's it feel like now that you are doing a business finally and being like, one of the girls is getting to do it?
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Boss. It's pretty cool. It feels very, very powerful. I love it for my kids, for them to see, mom doing her thing, and, for my nephews to see my sister and sister-in-laws doing it. So it feels really cool to have control and to kind of be able to do things the way you want things to be done, and not have to answer to anybody else. And, being a family business, if, somebody has an idea, people are listening to your ideas of things to improve on or change or add this new laser. So it works out really well. We all get along very, very well. So
that's cool. One of my favorite things with the laser tattoo removal is being able to fade them and then get the cover up, which was also huge because you used to have to go to either somebody who was really good at cover ups, or they had to do a particular thing that they would just have to bury your old tattoo that would most likely show through over the years. So then that's cool that your brother saw the opportunity to be like, man, like, I'm sending all these people to this guy, where if I would just be sending them to somebody we knew to do this, then we, that's it's a cool business.
It is. Yeah. We work hand in hand, and everybody's like, you're brother's a tattoo artist, but then you're removing them?
Yeah.
Like,
But that probably funnels
it
so many
works.
clients as well.
It does. And my brother's network with his tattoo artist friends is huge.
Yeah.
He now goes to different tattoo shops throughout the country and does guest spot tattoos.
I've always been jealous of the free-spirited life that you can have being a tattoo artist. I have a lot of friends who travel, and the one guy was even sailing and going to different ports and then was tattooing people. But like, if you're good and if you are able to make a living off of it and guest spot, you can travel the world.
Yeah, he does really well. And the friends that he's made, the relationships he's made are amazing. All of his friends, his tattoo family, we all love them. They, we've hung out with them at parties and stuff, and it's such a good group of people. And my brother, he found his niche, and talking to him about it, he makes me feel like maybe I should have become a tattoo artist, because it is such a family business once you get into a good shop.
Yeah.
And his shop is really great.
What shop does he have?
He's at Anchor Tattoo down in New Brunswick.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
When you started getting into the lasers, and like, what was it like when your dad's like, hey, we're going to do this, and then you guys like agree on it and you order the laser? I mean, what was it like to get the laser? And
it was scary.
Like, how do you figure out how to use it if you've never used it before? Is there like classes they give you?
Yes. Our company that we got our laser from is a Stanza Laser. They're based out of Texas. So we picked out the laser. We got 2 lasers. Tattoo removal is very much based on the color of the ink and what laser works with that. So we have a Trinity system, so it has 3 different wavelengths on it to attack different colors. So once we pick that out, and the company then comes out with the laser, sets the laser up, and you do a 2-day training thing with them, and you get certified through them. So
that's cool.
It was like 1 full day of bookwork, and then the next day we had clients volunteer to be our training clients.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is it friends that you do first?
Yeah, we reached out to kind of friends and family, and then on social media, and we got a good group of people together, and then of course offered them, to continue their treatments. They got a discount because they, did us the favor for the training. So it worked out really well, and our trainer was great. We had the same trainer again for this new laser we got, and the more you do it, the better you get. And, we've done our research. We continue to do our research. We're always learning, always, trying out new things. So it kind of came naturally to us. We're all people. We're Italian, affectionate, touchy-feely kind of people. So customer service to us is kind of the number one thing, to make people feel comfortable and like family when they come. And the laser part, if you have a good laser and you have a good protocol and technique, it kind of just all goes together.
What's the actual process of how it happens? Does it heat up to where the ink dissipates, or
when the laser makes contact with the ink, it breaks it up into a bunch of little pieces that now your body can metabolize out. So every time you come back, sessions are 6 weeks to 8 weeks apart. And then each time we're hitting kind of the next layer of ink, breaking it up, your body flushes it out. You come back, we're hitting that next layer. So,
have you ever had it done?
I have.
What did you think of it? Because I have, but I want to know your opinion. Do you think it hurts more than actually getting tattooed?
There's really no comparison for what it feels like. It also depends on the body part. So
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So I feel like arms and legs definitely are not bad. Necks, chest, anything on the belly is really bad.
I thought it all felt the same everywhere. Now you're making me question getting things removed.
But it's super tolerable because it is so fast.
It is.
So the one I'm removing on myself is my lower back. That is a very sensitive area. We have a silicone PFD patch, which we can talk about in more detail, but you basically can do 4 passes of the laser when you use the patch versus without the patch. So my sister did my removal, and I said quite a few curse words during it because it's a sensitive area, but it took less than a minute.
Yeah.
So, you can take anything if it's, that quick.
That's how I looked at it. Well, I went and I had my I guess the top of my thigh or up here. And he was like, it's going to feel like a splash of bacon grease when you're making bacon. And I was like, all right.
That's kind of what we compare it to.
Yeah. And then I was just like, okay, that feels just like that. And then once it kind of starts getting annoying or hurts, it's over. Like, because I didn't have a real big area. It was pretty much just the top of my thigh. But I don't know how a lower back or your entire back would be.
Yeah.
But and I didn't know that you could use patches and stuff like that. So what all goes into the whole process if I come in and I'm like, hey, I need this removed?
We, of course, give you a consultation and go through all your medical history, your skin type, things like that. And the procedure itself is the quickest part. Talking to you and filling out the paperwork probably takes longer. But we have a cryo machine that blows -30-degree air on you. So we get the room ready. And then once you're in the chair and comfortable, we blow that air on your tattoo for a few minutes so it numbs your skin. It gets very, very cold. It does help. It takes the edge off. So then as we're doing the laser, we're laser in one hand, cryo in the other, and we do it together so that it stays comfortable. And then when we're done, we cool it again a little bit more before we bandage it up. And you're out the door.
Do you guys offer cryo, or is the cryo just for the removal?
Yeah, it's just for the removal. It's not as powerful to do like body sculpting or anything.
Yeah, I did. We had a guy on. We had a guy on who did cryotherapy, igloo cryotherapy, and we got to do it. It was weird. It was weird. It was cool, and it definitely helps out with stuff. So
yeah.
Now thinking about it, using the cryo before the removal is probably super beneficial.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
So then, how many passes? Like let's say it's a larger tattoo. I mean, how many times are you coming in to get it done
for a full removal?
Yeah,
it's average of 8 to 12 sessions. We have clients that make out with much less than that. I've had clients come in for one session, and you'd never even know that there was a tattoo there. Other clients, they're on session 10, 11.
Yeah.
So a lot of it depends on the size of it, the age of it. Older tattoos fade faster than new tattoos. But we get quite a few clients come in that they're like, I just got this tattoo and I hate it.
Oh my, well, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to say you primarily probably are only dealing with people that have older stuff, but I guess there are clients who,
and it's,
that's crazy.
Yeah. And it's amazing. And it's like, don't you look at the sketch before? But, there's a lot of artists out there that freehand stuff. We've had a lot of relationship tattoos, of course.
Yeah.
But so body location plays a big part in the fading process. Your lymphatic system is what is pulling that ink away. So anything near a lot of lymph nodes fades quicker. So extremities, anything like hands, feet, ankles, wrists, they're kind of on the slower end of fading. We have clients that come in 3 sessions and they're gone. So it just depends on the person. It depends on your lifestyle as well. So in that 6 weeks in between, if you're not doing all that you can to stay healthy and help your body flush that ink out, it's going to be a slower process. So we give a little index card of tips that you can do, like detox teas, sauna, massages, things like that. Eating healthy, avoiding alcohol, cigarettes, things like that.
All that stuff.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah. You're like telling everyone, you have to stop your life.
Yeah, and eat your vegetables.
Yeah. How does all that come into play with the removal aspect of it?
Your liver is what is helping flush your body of toxins. So you want your liver to be able to just focus on your ink. If it's focusing on, sugary foods, sodas, things like that, then it's flushing all of those things and then your ink. So if you're staying healthy, eating right, drinking tons of water, so that your body is like, hey, the only toxin I have to worry about is this ink over here. We're going to flush it out.
So if you're somebody who drinks every weekend, your body's going to be constantly flushing out the alcohol and everything you did over the weekend, and then it's not going to...
And then that ink is just like a little sidebar.
Yeah. So then if they're not doing things... So if you wouldn't be paying attention to that kind of stuff during the process, you could essentially be making it take twice as long.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And we tell clients all these tips that they can do. We give them all this in the consultation. We go over it at every 6-week appointment. But you can talk to Blue in the face, and, it's a lot of information too to take in when you come in for your sessions. So some people do it and we can tell that they do it. Detox teas is another big one. We have a client that does like a fasting type of diet and does just a detox drink for a day. And he has only took 3 sessions.
That's crazy.
So,
it's kind of like when people go to the dentist and like get their tonsils out and they're like, hey, don't smoke. And then the person immediately smokes after.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's it like now getting into the laser hair removal? Because you did, how long were you doing the tattoo removal for?
Just about 2 years.
So you're heavy into doing that, and then you saw kind of another avenue of growth?
Yeah, our clients were, looking for other services, and we were like, hey, we'll look into that for you. And, we always knew going into this that we wanted to grow eventually. Yeah. We did like the idea that we, specified just in tattoo removal, so all our focus could be there. But then we were like, we're good here. Let's grow a little bit more.
Yeah, and if you have the ability to bring in another, you have the room to bring in another machine, and you have the staff to do it, or like you guys are just kind of like, why wouldn't you start getting into something that you could do in the same room? You know what I mean? Like if I'm doing podcasts and then in between that, I'm like, oh, I could also be doing this version of a podcast and it's the exact same work. Why wouldn't you try and grow your business more to make money?
Right. Yeah. And somebody said it really good. One of the guys that works at the laser company, he said, not everybody has an unwanted tattoo, but everybody has unwanted hair. Yes. And we're like, that's very true. So we are going to be our own best clients because all of my family is like, can we do this? Let's do this. So I've already
just using it for family members.
Exactly. I've already done a couple of treatments of things on myself, just for practice. My sister and my dad, we've done, we kind of have done everything on one family member at least. So we kind of listened to our clients and what they wanted. Everybody asked if our tattoo removal machine did hair removal. And we were like, no, but we wish it did. So we looked into it, and March of 2020, this new laser came out, and it's the best on the market. It's the biggest handpiece that they offer for hair removal, so we can cover a big of area, at one time. So the fraction of the time is cut down. So we just went for it, and we ordered it, and we thought about it for probably a good 6 months, and then we pulled the trigger.
Well, let's do it. What would have been the negatives on having that? Taking away from tattoo removal, kind of, you were worried about the brand of what you were trying to promote from the beginning.
Yeah, and
what in the meetings, like what would you guys go over as like problems that would come up with you doing the expansion?
Spreading ourselves too thin. Afraid, clients, like the idea that we only did one type of procedure, and that way we can say,
like a specialist.
We're a specialist, we're experts, but now we can say we're laser experts because we do it all now. And it's the same idea with how the procedures are done, but now we can just offer more to our clients, and now we can reach a bigger audience now with our clients. For, people that don't have any tattoos but have other unwanted things to be blasted away. And
I had a question.
Yeah.
What if you wanted hair? Because I thought about this because I was like, oh, hair removal. Like if I did any hair removal, it would be on my back. But I also have an entire back piece tattoo. Can you do laser removal?
No, we can't.
And then I was like, I bet you can't.
Yeah. The hair removal works with heat.
Yeah.
So it basically would like melt your ink and take your tattoo away, but it would scar and
so you can't even touch any hair removal with anybody who's got ink.
Nope. We can
remove it.
We can remove hair around a tattoo. We would be able to, if like you wanted your arms done or something, we can cover your tattoo and just do everything but that. We actually have a client who's had his back hair removed, but has a tattoo dead in the center, and it's a small one. So the hair was removed all around the tattoo. So then he came to us and we're like, hey, can you remove this tattoo so I can finish my hair removal?
Yes.
So now when we're done with his tattoo, we can do his hair removal.
Yeah. But that's what opens the door now to other clients that want stuff like that. Or somebody comes in for a consultation for hair removal and then was talking about how they also wanted their tattoo gone. Yeah. So it really opens the door.
It does, yeah. It lets us reach a lot more people than what we're reaching now.
Is that kind of the deciding factor of why you guys wanted to move forward with just expanding it? Because the positives probably outweighed the negatives.
Definitely did, yeah. We wanted to definitely broaden our audience. We find we get like a lot of middle-aged females is kind of our most popular age range. So we wanted to branch out and kind of get something for everybody. And we are hoping that it works out because we've talked about it on our social media a little bit. We started booking slightly for February, and we haven't really like made the announcement yet. Like, yes, we're booking appointments, but it's coming and people are excited about it. So
that's cool.
We're stoked.
And then it's also giving an opportunity for past clients or people who you're already working with to get extra things done. But then they're also spreading it word of mouth where somebody's like, hey, be like, oh, well, I went here and they also offer that. I don't think it's going to hurt you at all to have two separate things. What was it like choosing your location for where you were going to actually open up?
That was tricky.
Did you guys go around, Allentown? Where did you want to go?
We definitely knew we wanted to be in PA. We grew up in New York, but now have relocated. My family's in Hunterdon County in Jersey. I live in Bangor. So we were trying to look for somewhere in the middle. And we looked into like Bethlehem, and then my family, we really liked Easton just because it was right there on the border.
Yeah.
We looked about opening in Jersey, but New Jersey, you need a medical director on site. Pennsylvania, you just need one on staff. So because of that, it's a lot more money to do things in Jersey because of different licenses and everything like that. So we're able to have cheaper prices compared to Jersey. So we were like, oh, we'll get the Jersey people to just hop the border right here to Easton.
Yeah.
I worked with a lovely realtor who is now a friend of mine, Kimberly Rosato. So we reached out to her. We told her what we were looking for in a space. We didn't need a storefront, which kind of helped us a lot with location because nobody's going to be walking by and be like, oh, tattoo removal.
Yeah.
Let me hop in
Let's go
there.
in and get one.
Yeah, so we weren't
It's like
worried
the
about
opposite
that.
of a tattoo shop.
Yeah, exactly. Down the road, now that we have the aesthetic lasers, and hair removal is something that you can walk in for if you wanted to. Tattoo removal is too, but it's really not as common. So we are above Mesa Mexican Restaurant, downtown Easton.
I was going to ask where the location was, because if you didn't need a storefront.
Yeah, our door is in between 3rd and Ferry Fish Market and Mesa Mexican.
So that's a lot of good places for lunch.
It's good lunch. And it's restaurant week this week.
Easton's got the best food.
It really does. So we have a beautiful space. It's very professional, I would say medical, very sterile-like. So clients love it. They think it's very clean. So we have a common area like a waiting room. And then there's 8 different offices in there. So we have 3 of them. We have one whole side of the hallway. And then there are 2 other tenants in there. There's a photographer and a microblading girl that just came in. So we kind of have the place to ourselves. And it's a great location. We love it. Just being in the heart of downtown Easton. The community feel in downtown Easton is so awesome with the support.
It's changed there so much.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, I say like, I feel like out of everyone in the surrounding areas that are trying to do something, Easton's the only one that's done it the correct way.
Yeah, and I
feel like
so
Allentown
hyped.
missed the mark. I feel like Nazareth just keeps shooting itself in the foot.
Yeah.
Bethlehem, whatever. It's kind of a seesaw with the back and forth of the sides. And then I look at what Easton did and like how they completely changed what Easton used to be to what that farmer's market is, and with the indoor
the Easton public market.
then, and then the restaurants alone. Like
they're stepping their game up.
There's a couple places to get good food around here, but if you go to Easton, it's almost every restaurant's a home run.
Yeah, and Easton has changed. I mean, I went to NAC, and downtown is where we used to go hang out at the bars. And back then, I think I'm dating myself now, back to 2006, 2007. I would be like afraid to walk to my car at the end of the night, and now down it's such a good feel down there.
360.
It really did. And all the stuff that's coming, they're changing out that parking garage that's across the street from us. The Pine Street parking is getting knocked down. They're putting a new parking garage there with retail space and restaurant space.
That's
on
cool.
The first floor. There's a lot of new construction going on for apartments and with retail and stuff on the first floor of those. So there's a lot of new stuff coming. It's going to be really cool.
That's exciting to be in the mix of all that, especially with the changes going on for the positive. And you're also a newer business growing in there. It gives you kind of a safety net of, reassurance that it's worth having your business in the town.
Yeah. We felt so lucky that we found that space, because all the stuff that's now growing around us, get to be a part of it. And even for, they did that winter village with the ice skating rink, so the people that, people come from a good distance away to Easton. So to be, downtown, it's just, we feel so lucky to be down there.
What was it like to get started and never have really been in a business like this or ran a business, like how nervous were you to be like, I mean, because I know what it's like, just even posting shows, but you have this doubt in the back of your head, like
You do,
the worst
yeah.
case scenario is always hanging out back here,
Yeah.
if you're realistic. But
Yeah.
like, so what was that like being like, holy shit, are people even going to answer? Is this
Yeah.
business going to work?
It was scary. In the beginning, my brother, the tattoo artist brother, was in charge of the Instagram, and his tattoo career was like at a pivot point that it was like really taking off, and he was really starting to get busy, and he wasn't having the time. So I was like, I'll take it over. But, you know, it's like, are people even looking at this? Like, are they reading what I'm writing? So in the beginning, I was definitely very insecure about what we were posting, what information we were putting out there. But I recently did an interview, not an interview, like an online thing with a social media influencer. She's like a professional to teach you how to do your social media. And I sat down with her, and she just gave me a swift kick in the ass and was like, you got this, girl. And, you know, made me feel confident that, you know, I have information to share, that if you put it out there in a certain way, people are going to read it and people are going to learn from it. And, you know, always post something with an intent that people are going to take something away from.
Yeah.
So she was like, you are a boss. She was like, you know, you have the information, share it. And I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do it.
It's a scary thing to be running social media. And at this day and age, it's a job. And especially, if like, you know, like how mine's mixed in with my personal. So sometimes like I just don't feel like posting, so I'm tired, or like I want to break from it. And then I'm like, well, you can't really take a break from this because you're posting to get, like what you said, information out there and more stuff. And I've already been on top of my game with posting, and that's when things start moving. And that is such a heavy pace to keep up with, to the point where I was looking for like the things where you can do like it ended up not being worth the money, and I didn't want to go that far in it, but it was like things were like you schedule posts, and like I would be filling in these things, and then so like they'd be dropping at 1 and 3, and I'm looking at all my post times and when I get the most things, and then when you start digging into that, that's when it's like super like, holy shit, like do I even want to be posting this month? Then you're all right, well I would have to pay somebody to post this month. Now we're putting it into a budget, and I'm like, this is insane. Yeah,
I looked into doing that and I just couldn't wrap my head around it. It is exhausting because, you know, like you said, if you're tired or, you know, don't have, you know, the best idea for doing a post, it's like you can't half-ass it. You have to, you know, make it worth it. And I have 2 little kids. So, you know, if I'm around them and they're like, Mama, get off your phone. And I'm like, I'm doing a post for work.
I've had friends yell at me like that. And I'm like, dude, I'm working.
Yeah,
like posting nonstop.
Yeah, I find if I get an idea though, I will like do like the description that I would do for my post and just like save it in my phone. This way I can just copy and paste and do that kind of when I get an idea. And it, you know, I'm always trying to do something fresh. I don't want, you know, my Instagram to, you know, just be the same stuff over and over and over.
Yeah, just a faded tattoo each week.
Right. Yeah. Before and after pictures. They're cool, but they get old and, you know, people can swipe right past. So I've definitely changed my gears to more informational stuff because there's a lot of stuff about laser hair removal, tattoo removal that people have no idea. So trying to just put the facts out there this way, people are like, oh, it's not going to break the bank. I can afford it. It's not a luxury, you know, thing for me to do. You can get it done.
And it's also like people don't understand when you have it. I'm sure you do if you have a business account, but like when people don't understand like what you're actually trying to do with it, it's like you still have to be conscious of the fact of like, if someone comes to your page, you have to cover all the basis of like, okay, well, here's my information to click on here. And then if I want them to go to the website, then I need to have all that information on the website. But I also need to keep this a specific way so it's not turning somebody off. You know, when they're coming to, they're like, all right, laser removal. Then someone's like, check out the Insta. Then they come on there. And then if, you know, you have to make everything appealing to new customers.
And super user friendly too. The people want to click as little as possible. So you have to make everything super accessible that, you know, you have to think that like, okay, people might not be all the way there. We have to make it so that they're like,
my
okay,
parents
here
still
you
call
go.
for the Netflix password. Like, they're like, it's like, my mom's like, Michael, are you busy? And I'm like, no. They're like, we think we need you to come to the house. The internet is out. Our Netflix is down. And I'm like, hold on. And it's not even worth trying to do it over the phone. Like I have to go do it. So, I mean, you have the clientele that aren't user savvy with any of this stuff.
Right.
Or like my mom
Yeah.
still looks, you know, like wishes there was a phone book.
Yeah.
Like she,
And we get a lot of phone calls,
Yeah.
and it's great. And, you know, because I run the Instagram, my sister's on the phone end of things, our emails, we answer clients pretty much immediately.
yeah.
So clients really love that.
That's the other thing too, is if you do not answer somebody immediately,
Right.
like they're either okay about it if you get back to them, but then Facebook also has a thing now where they're like, they show you, they say, user usually responds in this time. And I'm like,
Yes.
now you're holding me to a standard.
Holding me
I'm like, what if
accountable.
I'm doing something?
Right.
I'm like, but now I got to drop everything to ask you immediately. But like, it's crazy what has become customer service
Yeah.
is they need it instant.
Exactly.
Which is almost, and I blame Amazon mostly, but like, you know, with
Yeah.
the second day
That's where it
delivery.
started.
Yeah. Like, so like now the bar set to customer service is just
Yep.
go,
Yep.
go.
And I feel like if you don't get back to somebody in a timely
They
manner,
take it personal.
they take it personal, or they're like, well, we're not going to go there, on to the next place.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we don't want to happen. So
No, not at all.
And a lot of clients say, you know, in our reviews that we have on Google, it's like, you know, immediate responses, you know, such quick response. And a lot of people, you know, in their emails, they're like, thanks for the quick response. And I'm like, no problem. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. It's crazy. Just in general, how everything has changed with, it's more positives than negatives, but you do really need to stay on top of like immediately talking to people, calling people.
Yeah.
I'm old school now to the point where like I'll call companies that I'm working with because it's so much faster to work than waiting for an email a lot
Right.
of times.
Yeah.
What are all the different ways that you have people contacting you? Is it mostly phone or is
I
it
would
through
say
Insta?
mostly phone calls.
Is that what you guys push?
Yeah, that and our email.
Yeah.
And then we have a get in touch form on our website where people can fill out their contact information and what they're interested in. And then there's a message box. They could even post a picture of their tattoo and send it to us. This way we can give them a quote. So I would say either call or email. But like I said, I answer the emails pretty much as they come through.
Yeah. If you don't, they pile up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I don't want anything to get overlooked. So, and I'm constantly like refreshing my inbox because there's always something.
Then there's that too, is you're constantly looking for the message. You're constantly hooked on that phone, just boom. Like I refresh my email. Like if I'll be like, I haven't gotten an email, and then I'll refresh it and then there's 10. And like, I tried taking, like when I first started the business, and then I want to get into how it was for you to start, but like you learn all the things that you're not supposed to do by making dumb mistakes. And I remember being like, I went away somewhere and I'm like, I am not answering my phone for 3 days. And then when I went back to work on Monday, I was like, oh my God, I'll never do that again. What was it like for you starting out with never running a business, now getting into running a business, but you're married, you have kids? Like how much of a learning curve was that? I mean, I know you're a hard worker because you were in the medical field, but what was it like jumping into that and learning everything as you go? Were you calling your dad for a lot of advice? Like kind of what was the process of you starting the business?
It was hard. Thankfully, all of our spouses are super supportive with everything that we do. And just like anything else I take on in my life, it just fits in and I, make time for it. And it's a priority at this point because my goal is to be doing this full time Monday through Friday, as well as my other siblings that are in it too. They want to be there every day. So it was just kind of like, all right, this is what we have to do. We're just going to grind and do it. And the social media probably was the hardest thing for me because I had Instagram, but, obviously just a personal one. And to post on there is completely different than, a professional one and a business one and trying to get people to engage with you. So I think that was probably the biggest learning curve for me because Instagram itself, the algorithms are always changing.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's nuts to stay on top of it. But I try to, listen to our clients and post what I think that they're going to appreciate and engage with. And it's working. We've been growing and our Instagram has been grown organically. We've never done, like an Insta boom or, paid for followers or anything like that. Most of our followers are actual clients.
That's huge.
I have to tell myself, though, that it's not all about the numbers because, a lot of, people are like, oh, they only have, I think we're like 800 and something followers, but they're true clients and, people that participate in our business. So I just have to remind myself that it's not all about the numbers. It's, about the customer relationships that we're building and you're building relationships with these people. Tattoo removal can take 2-3 years depending on, the client. So, you know, now you're part of the family for the next couple of years. So developing those relationships came easy. I think it was more of the technical side of things that I was like, because I can run a CAT scan machine, X-ray, mammo, that computer type of stuff. So I kind of used with what I know from that and, you know, tailored it to tattoo removal. So
I'm really glad you brought that up about kind of not paying attention to the numbers. I used to be so obsessed with the numbers and like the likes, and like sometimes I'd be so down where I'd be like, oh, people don't like this. And then like, you know, you're really putting yourself out there, even if it's for just information on something where if you don't get a response back, you kind of just start
hurt your feelings.
Yeah, like I'm like, what do you mean? Like nobody cared about the
Right.
show. And then when I dropped that and I stopped paying attention to the numbers and started actually looking at what the business was doing as opposed to what it was doing online.
Right.
Yes, I would like more followers, but that's going to come once the business grows more. And, you know, then it was just kind of like, you know, I don't care how many followers somebody has. Then what it's turned into is the interview's good. That's what I started working on, was like showcasing the person and
Right.
what they wanted to come on. But
Yeah.
to not bring up that you're worried about that in the beginning. And when you let go of those numbers and all that, and all, because it's all, you don't, it's important, but it's all make believe as well on there. So it's like to be able to just focus on the craft and grow the business and have a reliable, strong name is
Right.
way more important
Definitely.
than, hey, who liked this and this and that. So
Right.
I don't know. I just thought it was a good point that you brought up, because in the beginning of me doing this, it took a while to let go of that and to not care.
Yeah.
And to not, you know, I hold a standard to what I put on my social, but at the same time, you have to live a life, and I don't feel like my
Right.
mental health
Yeah.
being messed with because, you know, I didn't have a good post.
Yeah, in the beginning when I would post something and I would only get like 20 likes, and it's, you know, a post and I'm like, this one's going to do really well.
Yes, it's
like,
always the one you think that's going to do well doesn't.
and then it would get, you know, not what I thought, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, it's funny because
Right.
I'll post like promos, and the other thing too is I post a lot of videos, and I see the video
You do
views.
a lot of food stuff too. I like the food stuff.
Well, that's what I was getting to. So like, I'll post all this stuff where I got production behind it, and I'm like, you know, figuring all this stuff out on how to edit, and I'm so proud of like what I created, and I
Right.
drop it, and then it's like,
Wah, wah,
yeah.
wah.
Then I'm like, here's a cheeseburger I made, and it's
I'd like get 500 likes.
yeah, and then it's like, so I mean, but I also pay attention to that. And
Yeah.
I've always done food my entire life, and I will eventually sell it. And I'm in the process of trying to how to do it out of here without having to, like, it's a lot to own a restaurant, and I've worked in them, but that's kind of like a thing where I pay attention now too, or I'm sure you see it, where it's like if you post something and then you start seeing things grab onto it, I'm like, all right, so I'm now going to post food.
Right, go more that way.
Because it's most of the time it's food I'm making for my friends or I'm making for somebody that comes down here. So like now I make it a point to post that because now I can add that into
your repertoire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like, I don't know. People don't understand that the amount of work running social media accounts is.
The amount of work that goes into
'cause
one post.
and you don't really have time to not do it.
Right.
Because if you don't post, then the algorithm slows down, and then when you do post again, it's just trying to get out into the ocean when the waves are coming
you're
in.
way back there. Yeah, I did find though, like you were saying with your food stuff, people love our pictures of our family.
Yeah.
Like personal pictures. There are some companies out there that, you know, you look at their page, you have no idea what their staff looks like, what their space looks like. But I was finding that if I would post a picture of me and my siblings, or like a holiday picture of us at Thanksgiving, you know, that would get, you know, more likes than anything else. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you like to see us. We'll push that a little bit more. And anything, you know, personal, I find people thrive on that. So we like to put a face to the company and not, you know, we want it to have a warm, welcoming feeling. We don't want it to be just like a cold, you know, procedure you're coming in for.
I think it's important, especially with a business that, you know, is something that, you know, you really can't. I mean, what are you posting? You know, you have to find other things to post.
Right.
Like, I don't want people to be bored of like, oh, whatever, he's doing another podcast, or like, hey, here's another t-shirt. Like, I've always wanted to have it from the followers' perspective of like, hey, man, I would like some different stuff in there.
Right.
But building a brand and then incorporating yourself in it, I always enjoyed doing that. Some people don't at all.
Yeah.
But for you guys to, you know, you're running a family business and then you're posting your family, it's what it is.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the truest form of social media that enough people don't appreciate, is that, like, when you're putting yourself out there like that and your business, you're like, no, this is my family laser removal business. Yeah. But I think that's the best way to get, because there's a difference between having a following and having an interactive following, and having the interactive following and the, like, true people who, like, if you put out a t-shirt, they're buying it to help you out during, you know, the coronavirus or whatever. That's when that stuff matters, not the numbers. I don't know. I think it's cool that you're putting yourself out there like that, because it's not the easiest thing to do, because people are too worried about what people think.
Yeah. And I feel like the personal touch of it makes it that you're not just another number. You're not just another client. You know, especially that we are now spending 2 to 3 years with these clients. We're developing, you know, a good relationship. So for them to know us as well as to get to know them, I think that makes a world of a difference.
And that's the best part of the story, I thought, so far, was that it started from, you came from a family that ran businesses. You weren't running a business. You always wanted to, like, now you're running your own business. And that's why I always bring people on with these stories here. And they're the best to tell, is like, you wanted it, you went after it, you got it. And then, like, now why would you not showcase all that hard work that your family's doing? Because it was a joint effort. You know, it was your brother doing the tattoo stuff, your dad running that business. It's like, you should definitely be showing all that in your social media.
Yeah. And we are such a tight-knit family. We are all so close to each other. It's amazing. So it's, my sister's the oldest than me, then the tattoo brother, and then another brother, and then my brother's wives, who are sisters. So it is just like one big happy family.
How many people do you have actually from the family working there on a daily basis?
It's usually my sister and my one sister-in-law and myself. The other siblings are more kind of background. Everybody has a full-time job during the week. So that's why we kind of schedule it to when we're available. So my sister-in-law and my youngest brother usually do the evenings. We do evening hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so they're usually there. And then my sister does Monday, Tuesdays, and Saturdays, and I do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So now that we have the new laser, there will be 2 of us there during the day, Monday through Saturday.
Are you going to be the first to jump? Are you going to be the first to leave the full-time job, you think?
My sister probably will be the first to jump. She's in the restaurant industry, so it'd be very easy to her to just be like, yep, nope, I'm gone.
Especially with how everything is now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'd like to get into, just not wrapping up, but we'll close out shortly because I think we're coming up on the time. But how has COVID affected anything with you guys?
We were like at our peak right before COVID started.
That's fun.
That we were finally like, you know, we're really like, you know, we have money in the bank and we're doing really good. Our client base had grown, you know, really, really big. And then that happened. But surprisingly, during COVID, when we were closed, we had like people banging on the door, like, when are you guys reopening? I need to get in. And we opened, I think like mid-June. And we had the most clients booked that we've ever had. Our numbers have pretty much doubled since last year.
What do you think that causes? Just the backup?
At first, I was like, everybody's spending their stimulus checks. Like, we're good. But we get so many more clients, new clients every month. And I think that's just because our social media has grown and word of mouth is really spreading. So we've been busier than we ever have now since we're back from COVID. And now with this brand new laser that can do all these nice things for people.
That's awesome. It sounds like it's heading to a point of you guys both will probably be there and leave your full-time jobs and do that.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's got to be an exciting feeling. I know what it was like to run 2 businesses for a really long time. And then especially with you having kids, it's got to be crazy to even live that kind of a lifestyle and just sacrifice that much. And I feel like not enough people pay attention to the sacrifice when somebody's starting to open a business and they're running their family and another job. And that would be so exciting for you to be able to just cut the cord and do that.
Yeah.
It would probably free up so much of your time.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping
your sleep.
Yeah. With this new laser that we have, it does all kinds of things, but I think the biggest things that it does is the hair removal and spider vein removal. Both quick procedures, in and out. And it's the fastest machine on the market. And like I said, the biggest handpiece, so we can cover bigger areas in less amount of time. I did it on myself the other day. My sister did my armpits, and it was painless. We also did, there's skin rejuvenation.
Yeah, because I was just thinking with that stuff, there's no, because the pain's coming from the ink dissipating on the tattoo removal,
right. And
correct?
then with the hair removal, it's all heat based.
Yeah.
So the heat goes to the layer of your skin where your follicles are and kills the follicles. So depending on the body part, again, like with tattoo removal, some areas are a little bit more sensitive than others. So we did my armpits the other night. I felt nothing. And then I did one of the skin rejuvenation things, which is for like fine lines and wrinkles and evening your skin tone. So my sister did, you just basically do like your cheeks and your forehead. This cheek, I felt nothing. This cheek, there were just like a couple little spots where it was like a bee sting kind of feel. But again, super quick. And for people not have to shave anymore, I think that is completely worth it.
How long's the hair removal last? Is it lifetime or years or?
It's technically laser hair reduction, and that's with any hair removal. You always have follicles that are dormant, so we can kill all of your active hair follicles, and then, you know, a year or 2 years down the line, a dormant one can become active, and then you would have, you know, a hair in that area. With the bundle packages we offer, we're going to have, you know, a window of time that you can come in for like a free touch up if, you know, a follicle becomes active within a certain amount of time. But our prices are super affordable for all of the new procedures on the laser hair removal machine. And anything can be done as a single session or a bundle. We're always trying to save people money because, you know, we obviously want to help people out. We don't want to, you know, rip people off or anything like that. So we price stuff that it's competitive, but not going to break the bank. We want everybody to be accessible.
I feel that's the best way to do sales. I got heavy into sales in the last 2 years, and I just tried to treat everybody how I would want to be treated by the seller. And like, and what's funny is because I'd laugh about it where I'd be driving away and I'm like, I think I just cost myself $200. But I always, that's how I sold everything to everybody. I'm like, look, this is how I did it to save money. Like when I do the t-shirts and stuff, I'll be like, look, this is the best way to do it. Cause sometimes the client's like, I want, you know, a print here, 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 here. I'm like, you're going to break the bank. And you know, we're seeing if you could even sell shirts. Let's go simple, one color. And then when I started going the second year, I had almost everybody wanting, like I was getting repeat clients. And then when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, it's because you weren't ripping people off and trying to make the most amount of it. And I don't know. I think it's cool that that fits into your family business and you guys treating people correctly.
And when we started with the company in the beginning, we really researched how people price tattoo removal because a lot of people right off the bat think, oh, it's so expensive, I'm not even going to look into it. A lot of places all across the country are one flat rate, no matter what size. We were having, you know, clients come in with tattoos the size of a stamp. And I'm like, we can't charge them the same thing as what we're going to charge for a full sleeve. That doesn't even make sense. So that's why we ended up doing tattoo removal by size. We go from a micro to a large. Our highest price is $200. You're never going to pay more than that unless you would add that PFD patch, which we never got back to. But we do bundles for that, and our prices, you know, are low as $75 per session for that micro size and go up to $200.
Well, while we're back on the patch, what does that do exactly?
So it's the Describe PFD patch. We're the only tattoo removal company in the surrounding area that offer that. It's a clear silicone patch that we put on top of your tattoo. It protects the first layer of skin so that we are able to do multiple passes of the laser in one session. So a normal tattoo removal session, it's just one pass of the laser. We put Aquaphor on, bandage up, you're done. The patch, we hit it with the laser and then we increase our parameters, hit it again, increase, and we do that 4 times. Sometimes you get ink ejection from the tattoo being blasted so many times in a row that it actually comes out of the skin and hits the patch, which is so satisfying. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, we're like, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, I post all about that, but it basically just speeds up the process. We increase the parameters of the laser every time you're coming in for a session. Just when using the patch, we can increase it in one session. So you're getting more bang for your buck. A lot of people do it for, you know, if they have a wedding coming up or joining the military or they're on more of a time crunch than other people. Or some people just want it gone and they're like, yeah, use the patch. So it definitely helps speed up the process. It takes away some of the pain because it's pretty thick, the patch.
Yeah.
So it kind of absorbs some of the energy from the laser. But it definitely works to see the improvement from session to session of somebody using the patch versus somebody without. It does make a difference.
That's awesome. It's also awesome that, you were able to offer something that other people don't have to offer.
Yeah. Yeah. And the people that distribute it is our laser company. So they kind of always have our back and would never give it to another tattoo removal shop that's in like a certain area of our shop.
Yeah.
So
it's like having specific claim rights or whatever. I know they do that with sneakers.
Yeah.
For like the skate shops provider. And stuff.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's something to add to the other things that you guys offer.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have you on. It was super interesting to learn a lot of this. I knew bits and pieces of it before this, but I didn't know that you guys are offering all this stuff. I like that you're getting into the hair removal. But my favorite part of the story was just coming from the family-run business and you guys running it like an Italian family.
That's right.
I think that's cool.
Yep.
I think it's awesome about your brother and kind of like how he started. And it's always interesting for me to peel back like the story. And it's important to bring people on here, especially a woman who's wanted to run a business her entire time and was told she can't. And now she's doing it. So, the whole basis of the flagship show is that, I want to motivate people to take a chance on it. I mean, you could have easily stayed in your profession doing what you're doing and you wanted more and wanted to kind of have a little bit of freedom. And when I started running my own business, it was one of the most satisfying, freeing things where, money's matters, but more than not, it's just me being able to do this on a daily basis as work.
Yeah.
And that's
and you'll never go back to work for somebody again.
I never will. And I say, I've said it to a million people, and every time I say it, I mean it, and I will never have a boss again. I've worked for people that were awesome. I worked for people that weren't awesome. But in the end, I was still putting in way too much work for other people. And once I started putting that into myself, that's when I started being happier, having growth, being a better person. Because it's weird to explain when you want to do that your whole life and you don't know how. And and
you're scared.
Yeah, it's scary
to take that leap and not
my
know.
parents never ran businesses. My dad worked in a print shop. My mom's been in the medical field. They're just very long, hard-working jobs where they retire, and then they hope that the things that they wanted to do, they can do. And now I look at them and I'm like, man, like I want to retire sooner and I want to be able to give stuff back to my nieces or build some sort of strength. And I feel like you guys are doing that.
You just don't want to live to work.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome for how hard you're working. And you even told me what you were doing before this. And you're basically working every day and being a mom. And I think that's incredible. So in closing, I wanted to thank you for coming on the show. I'm going to give you time, of course, and I want to have you back. And you can bring your sister when you guys go full time. Yeah, you can come back on anytime you want to promote something. Talk to me. I'd love to find out who your brother is. I'm really intrigued on tattoos and stuff.
Tom Aversa, Anchor Tattoo.
Yeah, I'm going to check him out on Instagram. I'm going to give you time.
He's pretty badass.
It comes from a badass family. I'm going to give you time to plug anywhere where anyone can find information. I'm going to have the links inside the bio, but I'd also like to give you a chance on going over anything you might have had in your notes or just in general how people want to get a hold of you.
You can definitely find us on Instagram at precision_laser_LLC. I'm behind the Instagram, so any DMs come right to me. And like I said, I answer them pretty much immediately. Our website is linked right in our Instagram. And like I said, we have the get in touch form. All of our services are on there. If you need a quote, you can just send us a picture of anything that you want to get removed and we will get you a quote for that. And like I said, we're pretty easy to get a hold of. We are constantly on our phones checking everything. But give us a try. Family owned and operated. You can't beat that. I mean, our customer service, you can see in our reviews, people love the environment, professional, clean. We are here to help you get rid of whatever you want to get rid of. Hair removal, spider veins, tattoo removal. So we're here to please for sure.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on the show. It's impressive to see you guys growing outside of the norm of what the business started. And like I said, when you guys go full time, come back on and we'll do it again. Yeah. The second podcasts are always a little bit looser because the person's they've been on the show before.
Yeah.
So those are my favorites.
Yeah.
If you're a first time listener to the show, you can go to neveragainstudio.com. That has the apparel. It has all the links to the iTunes. YouTube's the best place to watch everything. You can subscribe on there. If you're just an audio person, Never Again Studio, I believe iTunes, and then that'll link you to everything. Thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to watch the growth of the show.
Thank you so much.
I think I actually closed that one correctly. Every show I just mess up. That went so well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a